Hey guys, and welcome to a video that I think you can tell what it's about. So every year I notice two things. My gecko scratching at the glass and an increase of comments asking me, is it normal that my gecko scratching at the glass? Why is my gecko not eating? And why does my gecko keep shedding so frequently? Now, this is a question I have answered quite a few times. I even have a video where I take you month by month, season by season, talking about behaviours that you may experience with your gecko, from appetite loss to scratching at the tank. Are you okay then, Minnie? Yeah. But basically all of this is super normal and actually all linked up. Now, you may not notice it if you have one gecko on their own, but if you have more than one female, or a female and a male, even though obviously they don't live together and they shouldn't live together anyway, you may notice these behaviours. So what I'm going to do is link below a bunch of videos where I go into more depth about each of these things I'm going to mention. So the first one is that the geckos are ovulating. Now, once again, if you have one female, you may not notice this. Minnie and Gizmo used to do this, but like more subtle. And Gizmo laid her first egg when she was about 6, I think. Whereas Ziggy came along, and when she matured, it kind of triggered them a lot more. And Ziggy laid her first egg a lot younger. And she's actually carrying 2 right now. She's quite chunky. So, when they ovulate, and you can... Are you going to go now, Zig? Okay. Basically, if they ovulate, they haven't been bred with, they either lay an infertile egg or they'll reabsorb it. But it's good to keep check on them, because if the egg gets a shell, it needs to be laid. And if the gecko can't pass that, it may have some complications, so you may need to see a vet. Now, in my experience, that's never happened, and Ziggy has laid a massive egg, like an egg bigger than a head. So it's still good to be aware of this could happen, but more than likely your gecko should be fine. Now, you may be wondering, how does this even relate to them not eating? Well, for some reason, in the time that they are producing eggs, so the eggs are just taking nutrients from their bodies, they decide it's a good time to not eat. I have no reason or understanding why this is, but yes, they just lose their appetite a bit. Now, I've been quite lucky this year that all of my geckos are actually still eating a bit. It's a reduced amount, but they're still eating, which is good. And in this time, if you have a girl, it's good to regularly weigh her and also still offer the food. Even if she isn't going to take it, still offer it like you normally would. I also sometimes get them to lick some multivitamins off my finger, just in case like they're just not getting enough, obviously, because they're not eating their normal food. Now, this lack of appetite results in weight loss, and that's probably why you're seeing them shed a lot more often. For myself, I've actually noticed that even Diego has been shedding more frequently. This isn't exclusive to females, because for some reason at this time of year, males can sometimes go off their food a little bit as well. I honestly think this whole thing is they just want to get together. Like, one of the reasons I think they scratch at the glass around this time is the pheromones are high in the room. They want to get to each other, they want to make gecko babies, and they're very frustrated. I also wonder if in the wild during the breeding season, they might be trekking quite a bit to find their ideal mate, so maybe they have more energy and they want to explore more. I don't know, that's just a theory. I don't know if that's true. That's just how I think. But I wonder if that is why they're scratching, because they want to get out. This is something you're definitely going to see more in spring and summer. It tends to tone down a bit more in autumn and winter. So I hope this has cleared things up. No, you're not going crazy. No, your gecko isn't dying. Well, you know, obviously get them checked out at a vet. I don't want to say that for sure. That is one thing I want to stress. Even though I say that they will lose their appetite in this time, you know, they're shed more often, it is important to understand your gecko's pattern, get to know your gecko, get to know what's normal for your geckos. In the past, I have mentioned that I have kept records of each of my gecko's weight ever since they were born. Yes, I have a weight booklet from when Gizmo was born in 2006. So I have all her weights back to when she was a baby. But I think it's good practice to do this. You don't have to do it every week. You can do it once a month like I do now. But it's really good to look back and sort of see what the natural pattern is for your gecko, because it varies from each gecko. For example, these are Gizmo's weights. This card is 14 years old, like this is so old. But a good thing is you can kind of pick up a pattern. So in 2018, in March, she was 53 grams. And then in March 2019, she was 58. It was pretty good. And then this year, she was 57. So we sort of know a pattern for her. So her weight being around this is fine for her. Whereas Diego is always around 95 to 105 grams. So completely different geckos, completely different weight expectations. So this is Ziggy's, and in March 2018 she was 74 grams, March 2019 she was 78, and that was meant to be a 3, so that is March. This year is 79, so that is Ziggy's normal, okay? So that's normal for Ziggy. If she was suddenly 57 grams this year, I would be worried. So each gecko may produce different results, but I wanted to just show you what I do, because trust me, this helps so much. I used to get so stressed every year, even though I weighed them. When they would drop weight, I'm like, oh no, I'm really worried. And obviously, I still worry, but I can also see the pattern that they follow every single year. So if that would help you to do something like this, to weigh your geckos, then go for it. But it certainly does help me. Hey, Gizmo. But yeah, I know sometimes this stuff can put people off getting female geckos, and yes, it can be stressful. I mean, the only positive I can say is obviously at this moment we're all sort of in lockdown. Pet shops are open and online stores seem to be delivering food, which is fantastic. But also this time of year, my geckos don't eat that much, so I don't actually have to buy that much food. So you know, there's a silver lining there. But I thought I'd just do this video because every single year I see an influx in comments and messages asking me about this. As I said, I do have videos on all these subjects, so I will link them below if you want to look into them a bit further. And also don't forget, oh, look at that little blink. Don't forget, males have their own problem. Have you heard of femoral reports? I also have a video on that. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I hope this has helped, and goodbye. By the way, this is calcium. This is vitamin powder, isn't it, Gizmo? It's not dust, is it? You're not dusty. It looks a bit dusty, to be fair, on my camera. Boop. Yes. Boop.